The man, the myth, the Murphy, here you are. It's so nice to see you again.
Thanks.
Listen, I feel like I owe you an apology because the last time I saw you was for Oppenheimer and I gave you so many awful puns. And they've haunted me ever since, so I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's lovely to see you again in this film. Astonishing. You again blew me away. There, I've done the pun again, I didn't even mean it. So good in this.
Thanks.
What does this mean to you to be able to, one, film in Ireland, work with Irish people and also share this important piece of Irish history?
It's very important to me. You know, I fell in love with the book when I read it, and I knew it was a kind of an important book for Ireland, and you know, it's on the curriculum in schools and at home, and people have really taken the book to heart, and so we knew we had something special we had to preserve. That's what we tried to do. And
subject matter aside, I know for me, as soon as I got offered work in Scotland, it's almost instantly a yes, because I just want to go back home to see home and work there. So getting to film at home, is that a big part of saying yes to things for you now?
Yeah, well, I guess since we generated it, we kind of knew we were going home. Yeah, an amazing crews, amazing actors. It would have been a long time since I'd been back, so it was really nice to be back. And
obviously, like I say, your performance, again, absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
This is so heavy. I mean, how do you shake off a day of filming after being this character?
We always have a laugh. You know, I was going with Eileen, who's my old pal, and with Enda, my old pal, so we always have a laugh, but you know, you have to.
And listen, I saw you on a horse the other day, riding through the streets. Yes.
Right.
Where's the horse tonight? Did you leave it at home?
I did, yeah.
I was kind of hoping that you'd bring the horse. Listen, Tommy Shelby, we're all absolutely obsessed. The internet is in love with that man. I mean, what is it like? I know you can't tell me anything about the film, but what is it like stepping back into his shoes and his clobber? Because he's got great outfits.
It was different, but it was familiar but different, I suppose. It's been a while, but the script is great. Amazing director, amazing cast. So we're nearly halfway through, I think. So. Yeah, I'll just keep going, and hopefully, you know, I was very keen to make a film that the fans love, you know, because we have such amazing fans.
An Academy Award-winning Cillian Murphy, that's got such a nice ring to it, right?
Thanks.
Has life changed?
Genuinely, no. Like, I went straight back to work, and so no, I probably haven't sat down and had to think about it properly, but I suppose I should.
It's so well deserved, though. And just talking about the fans, obviously, so many people here to see you tonight.
Yeah.
Is it always special when you get to say hello to folk?
Yeah, I try to as much as I can.
Well, on that note, you better go and say hi because I've been waiting for you. I'll put you under pressure now.
Thanks.
It's nice to see you, and when I see you for Peaky Blinders, I promise no puns.
Okay.
No terrible puns,
There's
I promise.
a lot of peaky puns though.
I know. Oh, see you did there.
I'm saying like extraordinarily nice things over here.
I am.
No, great.
Yeah, no, you're amazing.
He actually said you'd be a great director.
Yeah, did he? Irish people are just such good liars.
What's it like playing a Czech spy alongside another Irishman?
It was just a coincidence, you know what I mean? It was a total coincidence that was myself and himself. Just happened to be the way it was, and we get on great. So I guess being Irish helped, you know, with a similar sense of humour, but it was a total coincidence, really.
You would have needed a sense of humour, I'd say, when you're offset for this film. Was it very tense?
No, I mean, I think with a lot of those sorts of films that have reasonably heavy sort of subject matter, you just have to have a laugh, and you know, it's really lucky to be going to work, so you have to have a laugh when you're not, you know, between action and cut, really.
Because this is a true story, did you feel extra pressure while playing the character, or does that not come into your mind?
It does, you know, I mean, because, you know, these people actually, you know, died, and these men and women gave their lives for something they believed in. So yes, it's it does weigh heavily on you. You have to be respectful. So yeah.
And you worked with a Czech cast. Well, not entirely Czech, but it was a mixed cast.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because obviously they know the story well, and
it's hugely important to those guys, and then, you know, I think it added some authenticity to the story, which was our ambition from the beginning, and certainly Sean Ellis, the director, was his ambition to get it as authentic as possible.
Do you think you'd like to work with Jamie again?
No.
He's probably saying something very different. Are you saying nice things, by the way? I'm saying like extraordinarily nice things over here.
I am.
No, great.
Yeah, no, you're amazing.
He actually said you'd be a great director.
Yeah, did he? Irish people are just such good liars. No, it was amazing, and yeah, I think we've become good friends. So I think we'll see more of each other. You know.
So perhaps you'll work together again.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to.
Dunkirk, another World War II film that you've just done.
Yeah.
How different is this film to that film?
I mean, it's completely different, really, you know, and a different director, different story, you know, and it's just a complete coincidence that it's a Second World War story, I guess.
Okay.
Is there a trailer for that or anything?
Yeah, it's available, yeah, I should watch it. Yeah.
You should show me that because I haven't seen it.
Yes, you're one of the few people probably that hasn't.
Are you in the trailer?
Not in it, no, actually.
Cool.
An enjoyable experience for you guys? One made you want to work together again in the future?
You must be so happy you get down to this.
It's my turn. Yeah, well, you know, it's just, so when you're casting a two-hander, you know, it's always a gamble, really. You've got to get it right, I think, and I think luckily this one worked out. You know, I'm just bored of taking the mickey out of it, so I'm just gonna tell it straight. Yeah, we get on great, and we got on great on the film, and you know, we had a laugh because you've seen it. It's quite heavy, and you have to have some levity. You have to be able to share a joke and have a similar sense of humor, which luckily we do. And yeah, I think and hopefully if you manage to tolerate each other and get on to a level, then hopefully that transfers to the performances, I think, you know. But yes, it was an overall a very pleasant, you know, experience.
I wasn't aware of this story at all before I saw the film. So how aware of it were you guys when you first got involved?
Not at all either. No, the script was all new. I mean, obviously the script was new to me, but just, you know, reading about this piece of history, I wasn't aware of it. And I think outside of the Czech Republic, it's not really that well known. So yeah, that made it even more fascinating for us to read it.
Heydrich is the head of the secret police. Only Hitler and Himmler are above him in the Nazi hierarchy.
Exactly my point. You really think you'll ever get close enough to assassinate Heydrich?
Our orders have come direct from the Czech government in London.
No, I mean, every accent really is a challenge, because you have to try and do justice to the people that actually live in that country or region or whatever it might be. But it's just about putting the time in, really, and I think we got the thumbs up from the Czech people, didn't we? More or less.
I saw them all with their thumbs up at the Czech screening, literally going like that.
It's always a good thing.
Lucy, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
How emotional has this whole thing been?
Well, I mean, it's inevitably emotional when you're making a film that is a sort of a real historical event, and that people lost their lives, and it's inevitably emotional, and you can't let this sort of fog your vision, and you have to sort of do your job. But I'm very, very proud of it.
Apparently it's so intense, I haven't seen it yet. Is it unbelievably intense?
Yeah, I don't think, I was holding my breath for the whole movie. It is that intense. It just goes by like, you know, which is, that for me is pure cinema.
Do you watch yourself back and think, God, I'm pretty good in this?
No.
You don't? And I spoke to you at the Free Fire premiere, and people couldn't get your name right. Did you struggle on Dunkirk set as well?
I know these guys for a while, so it's okay.
Tell me how it was for such young actors. Did you feel a responsibility to kind of nurture them?
No, I mean, you know, I was young once, and you know, these actors are there on merit because they're great actors, and you can see it in the movie. They're really, really strong, confident performers, and it's not for me or anyone else to tell these guys what to do. They have the instinct, they have the talent, so let them off.
So, Christopher Nolan, take two. How was it working with the man again?
It's been amazing. Yeah. It's been amazing, and it's always been amazing for me to work with him. And, you know, I've been such a fan of him before I ever got to work with him, you know.
And can you go anywhere in the world without people asking you 2 words? Peaky Blinders.
No, it's bizarre. Everywhere I go now, yeah. Everywhere
so, can you tell us anything at all? Any little teases?
I think season 4 will be the best it's been. I'm very excited. We just wrapped last week, so yeah, I think people will be in for a lot of surprises.
How do you go anywhere without being mobbed?
Well, once the haircut goes away, it's easier, but I'm just freshly shorn, so... And
do you make a choice not to be on social media, or was that being forced upon you?
Just too old for that, you know?
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy tonight, and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thanks.
Guys, this film, it feels weird to call it entertainment because it's like a piece of art. Incredible. Incredible in every way. Quickly though, how much of this science did you understand? Because I felt not very bright sometimes listening to the stuff that Oppenheimer is talking about and writing on the board, and it kind of went over my head, a lot of that stuff. How much do you understand?
Don't feel bad, honestly. Don't, because I didn't really understand most of it. I had a vague conceptual grasp of it. I did work with Kip Thorne, who was the science advisor on the movie, and he was a science advisor on Interstellar as well. And he's like a Nobel Prize-winning physicist. But that's not our job, is to understand it. I don't think it's your job as an audience member either, you know.
I did realise when reading it, I was like, oh, that sounds pretty. I'll get that in the movie.
Also, just because I can see them down by your side, flowers.
That was the previous interview. It was really sweet.
But your character, I guess not a fan of them because they kind of end up in the bin a lot. How do you feel
I think she probably was if they had been from the right person. I think it was just very conflicting. That was that's how I felt about it. It was just a very conflicting thing to be given by someone. She didn't, it was just... confusing in her brain and body.
There's no doubt, though, that Oppenheimer was a genius. The amount he held in his brain, I just can't even begin to comprehend. The thing of learning Dutch in 6 weeks, I was just like... And even your great job, by the way, speaking Dutch. I don't know if do you speak?
Not at all, no.
Great
but
job.
Our DP, Hoyde van Hoytema, is from Holland. So he recorded me that speech on my phone, and then I just slowed it down and learned it just phonetically. I have no idea what it means. Just phonetically. So.
Because I was going to say, what is the thing that you think you've had to learn the quickest? Because as actors, I imagine you have to learn a lot of different skills for different movies and things. What is the thing that you think you've had to learn in the shortest amount of time?
I had to learn Russian in not all of Russian, but I had to learn a Russian few lines, and it changed in the morning after knowing what, and it's so, every little in your mouth means a completely different thing, and so Scarlett and I would be saying what we think were lines, it'd be like, okay, so you're not saying anything. And that was really, really tough going, because you also just don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah, especially when you don't know. How about you, Cillian?
I guess in this one there was a lot of the equations I had to learn by rote. Again, actually something kind of satisfying because they're just these beautiful marks. It kind of feels like hieroglyphics or something. You know? Again, I just did that for months and months and months. There's hardly any of it in the movie.
Oh, well, at least you know you did it. That's fine. And I have to say, watching this, it made me question so much about what goes on behind closed doors that we just don't know what's going on. I don't know how much your mind goes there. Obviously, they're building this bomb that could take out the entire world, and they're like, yeah, we'll give it a go, we'll see what happens. How much does your mind go think oh god, there's other stuff going on in this world that we just don't have a clue about?
That's a big question.
It is a big question. Sorry.
There's always stuff going on there, and stuff that you'll never know about. But I mean, I don't know if that's anything that anyone can. I don't like that. You can't let that freak you out though, because otherwise you just be in a ball in a room and never come out.
I feel like that's why I was just, when you come out of this film and it's not it's uncomfortable almost to watch because it leaves you with so much.
And the fact that you don't understand what goes on in these brains, it's makes you even more alienated.
For sure. And I know, Cillian, you have said that every role that you do, you take something away with you from it.
Did I say that?
Oh, you have in the past.
You said that every day on set, man. You came with your coffee, every role that I've played.
Oh shit!
What would you say you took from this one?
You mean physically, or in my mind?
I think maybe more mentally, but if you took physically as well, by all means.
I don't go into film roles looking to learn something. I feel my job is to just give the director the raw materials. I mean, you learn skills, to play Russian or to speak Russian or whatever, but I don't come in as a sort of a form of analysis, really.
You've done a great job, regardless
Thank you.
What. It's just, mind-blowing. So good luck with it, guys.
Thank
you so much.
Lovely chatting to you.
See ya.
I mean, it's a little overwhelming, for sure. I don't think it's properly sunk in yet for any of us. It's kind of mind-blowing. I'm thrilled and a little shocked. At the moment, I suppose. Ask me in a couple of hours, it might be better. I'm really, I'm really proud Irishman. I have to say that. Of course I am, and it means a lot to me, to be Irish. So I don't know what else to say. Should I sing a rebel song? Well, I'm thrilled. I think it's a great reflection on the state of cinema nowadays. That this is very complex, very challenging 3-hour R-rated movie about a physicist and about, you know, about a very kind of dark period in our history, and that people came to see it in huge numbers. And, you know, people meet me on the street like and say that they've seen the film 5, 6, 7 times, and, you know, like boys and girls, men and women, young and old, and that's kind of staggering and very humbling. But I think it's, like I said, a great reflection on the state of cinema. And I think it's been a brilliant year for cinema, as we saw, I think, tonight. I just released, or just premiered a film in Berlin Film Festival last Thursday, called Small Things Like These, so that'll be the next thing that comes out. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Another round of applause, come on!
Dunkirk.
Oh, yeah.
How does it feel after that? Was it just crazy few weeks for you?
You mean when it came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and it was such a sort of strong reaction. It was amazing, and people really connected to the film, you know.
And lots of people went deaf after it, I think. It was
really?
It was so loud.
Yeah, he likes to do that.
But you've gone to a black and white movie now, super fun and a comedy. Is it a different move for you? Was it nice to do something a bit different?
Well, the mad thing was I shot this directly before Dunkirk. I remember I finished this, and the next day I was in the sea for Chris, like the day after. So it was kind of back to back. Yeah, they're very different, but you know, to get to work with, you know, a director like Sally Potter was such a privilege for me.
The things that you've done are absolutely incredible. Are you exhausted? Are you okay?
I haven't worked in 6 months, so I've been just hanging out at home.
Okay, that's good to hear, because we've been worried about you. You're doing so much. And you told me that Peaky Blinders 4 was going to be incredible.
Yeah, I hope so.
Do you stand by your word?
I think it'll be the best, yeah. I mean, it's pretty powerful. I think there'll be lots of surprises. And it's soon, it's November, I think.
It's very, very soon. We're very excited. Have a lovely evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing?
Grand, yeah.
So how does it feel to be at the London Film Festival on the closing night? Nice,
Great,
right?
great. Yeah, looking forward to seeing it.
I feel like you're the busiest man in Hollywood, in film.
All right.
Do you feel like that yourself?
I'm not doing anything at the moment, just taking it easy, yeah.
But your roles are just mad. They kind of all so different. Do you have a particular favourite thing that you like doing?
No, just to mix it up, really. That's always been my ambition, you know.
Yeah, and this film set in one room, absolutely, it was just crazy, but brilliant. How did you manage to keep people hooked? Yeah, for so long.
Well, we've a really great cast, a great director, a great script, and you know, I think people, when you're stuck in a room, you really feel like you're with the characters, I think. And it all happens in real time as well, you know. So that hour and a half that you experience with those characters, that's what we're going through at the same time, you know.
It felt like it was exhausting, was it for you?
It was fun, you know. I'm loath to moan about working. I'm very lucky to be in work, so it was great crack.
What else do you want to achieve? What kind of role are you still ticking off the list?
I don't know, I'm just happy to be working.
You don't fancy going to the Marvel world, maybe?
I don't know, never say never, you know what I mean? Never say never.
And Peaky Blinders, got to talk about it. Can you give us any information on anything?
Yeah, we start shooting the next series next March, I think.
And how do you feel like that? It completely took off. Did you expect it?
No, it was very unusual and very sort of satisfying, I guess. I think it grew in the right way, you know, by word of mouth and very organically, and we're really pleased, you know.
What do you think the success of it is down to, apart from yourself?
Great writing, really great writing, and I think it appeals to everybody. You know what I mean? It's kind of a very universal story, and people in America love it, people in Australia love it, people in Poland love it. It's kind of mad.
And you've been absolutely swamped wherever you go because of that, I guess. Everyone knows who you are now.
Well, that's television, you know. It's a kind of you come into people's rooms and people think you're their best mate, you know, and they give you advice, which I like.
Oh, what's the best bit of advice you've been given then?
Don't marry her. Marry the other one. I don't know. It's, you know, they tell you all sorts of things.
And anyone else you still want to work with? Because you've worked with some greats.
No, I don't do lists like that.
No.
No, because, you know, it just work happens as it should happen, I think.
Cool. And finally, do you read reviews? Do you read stuff on social media, or do you stay away from it?
I'll read the reviews of films occasionally. Never theatre, because you're doing it. But films happens, you know, like a year and a half later, so you're less invested in it, I think, emotionally. Yeah. It's gone and been done, you know.
Cool. Thank you very much indeed. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. See ya. Okay, cool.
this must be a different Christopher Nolan press tour for you, because you're the main face on all the pictures, and you know, you are the star of the show, and it's all on your back.
Yeah.
Not to put more pressure on you, obviously, but how have you found the experience so far of being leading man for Christopher Nolan?
Loved every minute of it. It's a dream, you know, it's a dream job to work with all these astonishingly talented actors, the best actors in the world, you know. Who wouldn't want to do that? And, you know, myself and Chris have been working together for 20 years now, and it feels like we were working towards this point the whole time, you know.
You've obviously worked with him for, I guess, on 20 years now.
Yeah.
How has his style or his mannerism or whatever changed across that time working with him?
I think he's just focusing and refining his vision the whole time. I think this might be his magnum opus, you know what I mean?
Obviously, this is an incredible cast with you at the
Yeah.
centre, but was there anyone that you were particularly excited to work with, and did they live up to the expectations?
Every single person. I know this sounds like a cliche, but every single one of them was extraordinary. Like every single actor in this film.
What's the most outlandish reaction you've heard from someone who's seen the film so far? What's the favourite reaction you received?
People are devastated. People are overwhelmed. People want to see it 2 or 3 times. People are moved. It's all of the things you want from cinema, really.
I feel like, and I think it's been mentioned in interviews, like everything you two have done together, you and Chris, have been leading towards you taking the reins and leading it. This isn't like a good way to go out with your collaboration, is it? You want to continue working with Chris?
I'll be there for any part he wants, you know, sword carrier or whatever, I'm there.
I love that. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you.
It was shot very quickly, but Sally had been working on it for years, you know, and then it took her another, 6 months to edit it and put it together. Yeah. But yeah, it's fantastic because it was so intense, and everybody you were working with, they were all really, everybody was really in tune with it. So, but it didn't, in an odd way, it just found its own rhythm. We were all aware that we had a small amount of time, but in some way, maybe that it invests a certain amount of electricity in it. I don't know, because there's a massive amount of internal energy in the film, I think. Maybe it comes out of that.
Yeah. And obviously there is a very intense moment where you're lying on the floor in this, and Cillian's character Tom has to go and find some music to put on. Do you guys have any kind of music that if you have to change the mood and switch it up a bit, that you tend to go and put on?
Well, I've never been in that sort of a situation.
I hope not. I really hope not.
That scene actually came in quite late into the film. Do you remember? We just been kind of, playing around. Well, the other beauty of shooting this, the way we shot it, was that we shot it for the most part chronologically, which is also a bit of a gift for actors to shoot in order, in sequence. So anyway, Sally had written the sequence during the shooting, this sequence of that sequence with Tim on the ground and me sort of playing all the different music. So it was brand new to us, which I think added a bit of sort of something to it. In terms of that, I don't know. I'm a bit of a music bore, I suppose. I tend to bore people with music. Sit down and quiet and listen to this. No one speak.
Oh, okay, you like that.
Boring, I think.
What about you?
Oh, I mean, I love pop music, and also I've discovered a thing called YouTube now, which it's quite remarkable. I strongly recommend it. You just press a button and you go, I want a bit of music. It comes out.
Wow, I'm
some
learning
stuff
things.
from stuff I haven't heard since the 60s, and stuff that's brand new.
It is good. It is good for that kind of stuff.
It's strong. I don't know whether it will catch on.
Who knows? Who knows? But I'm glad that you brought it to my attention.
Yeah. Give it a whirl.
And a lot of people are saying this is one of the films to make sure you catch at the London Film Festival. So a lot of people are talking about it. But are there any other films that are showing that you guys are really keen on seeing, or you have seen as well, that have got you excited?
You've got the programme.
There are so many, aren't there?
You never see any films. If you have a film in a film festival, you never see any films. That's the tragedy.
Because every time it's on, you're talking about your film.
Yeah.
Or you want to go and sit and say, your plane's waiting for you, you've got to go now.
Yeah.
They don't pay for you to watch other people's films.
Unfortunately
They don't stick around. No, you're always doing something. They're always working you at a film festival.
Everyone has spoken about the way Chris looked because he tweeted the picture, obviously, but all of you guys kind of went through that together and trained together to make sure you're all staying on top of it. So what was the physical trial of it like for you, the two of you, personally?
It was pretty scary, really. I mean, it was really difficult, and I was noticing a change every day, and the fact that we were doing it together as a team made it far easier, and it also brought us way closer together as a sort of crew, which was very important for the movie because these men really went through this, and the relationships they would have formed would have been incredible, and I think this process really accelerated our relationships. But that doesn't mean it wasn't really difficult and really hard work. And I mean, when you go home, I mean, being at sea for 12 hours, when you get back in your bed, you still kind of feel like you're rocking and you're still starving. So it was kind of an ongoing process, really.
I was saying to the guys, were you not hangry? Because when I haven't eaten, I get really angry because I'm so hungry. Surely all of you must have been like that.
Yeah, people react differently though. People do get, like, some people get hysterical and other people get very, very quiet. But we were all in it, you know, so we were all the same and we were all kind of looked out for each other, which was helped, I think.
Yeah, I've been known to throw a tantrum. Ben was telling me about the KY jelly that was used on set, which I know, Tom, that you had a lot of experience with. Do you imagine it feels how whale blubber felt? I mean, I hear there was a lot of it on set.
Yeah, I think it was an awful day, really. And I remember when we first started that day, normally you'd get dressed and then you get called to set, but we were all sort of cooled outside and lined up where they just poured buckets of jelly all over us, and it was freezing cold, and it felt very realistic to me. Very, very realistic.
I mean, you play such a young character in this, but can we just discuss Cillian, because he's born in the 90s. I have a real issue with people born in the 90s. They make me feel so old. Sorry. Did you guys feel that on set? You're like, he's so young.
No, actually, no, it didn't really feel like that because he's such a good actor, and I think that, you know, it was such an ensemble. Everybody was there for each other, and we all kind of looked out for each other. So no, he's all right. He can look after himself. He's Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yes. Did you guys really bond? Do you think the whole process really made you come together? Because it feels like it did.
Yeah, I think, you know, Ron talks about he made this movie Backdraft, and he made this movie Apollo 13, and both of them, he told me that the cast are still really tight because they went through this adventure, and it felt kind of like it was for real. So it does, and I think we'll all stay in contact, having been through what we've been through.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Really enjoyed it, and you have a huge responsibility next, so I look forward to that.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you guys.
Grief is a big thing, in this kind of delayed grief, you know, and I think it's also, I connect it to the middle age thing. I think particularly for men, a lot of stuff comes and really bites men in the ass when they're like in their middle age, you know, that they have not dealt with. And I think he's a kind of a classic case of that. Stuff that's been put away, boxed away, he hasn't thought about it, and all of a sudden it's coming back. And I think we meet him in the middle of that. And there's a distance between them for some reason, and she can't reach him, and she doesn't know why. So he's grappling with that stuff, and I think it's also the girls are a certain age, and like Eileen said, like raising girls in that society in Ireland at that time must have been absolutely terrifying, you know, for them as parents. It had stayed with me, but it wasn't initially I didn't initially think it was something we should do, but then it was actually my wife who needs to take credit for that, because she said, well, what about this? And then I looked at it again with Tim Mealance, the director, and then it seemed to kind of make sense. It's on the ostensibly very simple story, but incredibly complex, and they're the sorts of things that I'm attracted to. You don't really think about it consciously, but kind of unconsciously it seeps in. I find it just tends to color everything. For those months that you're prepping for it, and then the months that you're shooting it, and then it takes a while to just kind of for that color to leave. You're just in it, and it happens with every project in a different way. You know, it's just it affects you if you're living that and you're thinking it all the time.